Alright, guys. A little different today. We're not going to do a Blunt Chronicles. Instead, we are going to do a Cancer Talks. And I named it because I'm going to be smoking cigarettes. And I'm also a cancer. Terrible video quality because the light is too bright. There's no light outside. And I'm recording with a Samsung, so you get what you get. But you know, Joey requested that I do a solo video, so this is kind of what I'm going to do, considering I'm on a little bit of a tolerance break from weed right now. But all things considered, 2020 has been a fucked up year. You know, a lot of good things have happened out of it. Like, I was able to move out of state. That was really it. I was able to further myself by moving out of state, and that kind of set off a chain reaction of little things that I was able to do. For instance, I'm writing a book. I'm writing a few books. The main one, What Goes Around the Garden, is only a couple pages away from being finished. The other one, well, there's a couple other ones. Blue Sisters, Red Grip, Tips and Tales from Truck Drivers, and then there's a couple other I want to do. But just the other day, I lost my last grandparent on December 2nd. Shit sucked, man. You know, I didn't get to say goodbye or anything because she was in Las Vegas, and with COVID protocols, they weren't allowing anybody to visit. So life is shitty sometimes, you know. I miss her a lot, but there's really just nothing that you can do. Unless you have your grandparents around, in which case I would just recommend you call them and you tell them that you love them. Because you can never say it enough to them. Be grateful for the elderly. I think that the elderly need to be much more revered and respected because they've been through, obviously, 3 times probably our life experience, or double our life experience, and age and wisdom coincide, that's for sure. Yeah, you know, I usually smoke American Spirits, but these are some Nats. I don't know what Nats are. My mom got them for me. Joe Rogan moved to Spotify, which is pretty lame, considering that all of his content was on YouTube and there's no comments on Spotify. But he said he's going to fix that. Whatever. We'll see. The election still going on. Looks like the Democrats might end up controlling the House, the Senate, and the presidency, in which case they'll pack the Supreme Court, and then the courts will go blue, and they'll make it pretty much impossible for anyone that isn't blue to ever get in again, which is just a sad outlook on it, but it is what a way things could go. But political system is supposed to be jammed like that for a reason, and packed full of red tape like that for a reason, so those radical changes can't just happen at the whim of a finger. Which is what governors are doing, by the way, because that's bullshit. If you live in California and you actually think Governor Gavin Newsom is a smart person doing the right thing, you're a fucking idiot. No, I mean, seriously. There are millions of small business owners and people that need to go to work in order to feed their family, put clothes on their back, and fucking pay rent. And what? They can't because you're saying they can't because COVID comes out at night at 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. specifically? It's ridiculous. And then the hypocrisy of him going out to parties, much like other governors that have been doing the same thing. It's bullshit. And not only that, all of his edicts, quote unquote, haven't actually been pushed through legislation. So none of it can actually be withheld in a court of law. So I say that all the business owners should go out there, open their businesses, open their restaurants, open their nail salons, open whatever the fuck they want, and just continue their way of life. Because let's face it, if you're vulnerable, if you're high risk, you're not going to go out. We can't stop society just for you. We don't stop society for the mentally ill. We don't stop society for those that have cancer or for those that have, misfortune going on in their lives. Oh, one of your family members died? That fucking sucks. Go to work tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, you want to call in? That sucks. Lose $100 the next day. Lose $200 the next day. How good is your job? Are they willing? I mean, are they reasonable? If you work for a small business, they probably are, but they're fucking all shut down right now. Oh, how sad is that? Not everybody could work for McDonald's or an Amazon or Walmart. People create jobs by creating their own businesses, by having their own ideas, their own nooks and crannies. I mean, imagine if Gavin Newsom just came out and said, all taco trucks are shut down because, there's this thing going around in the meat. I mean, taco trucks could just not serve that meat, hypothetically. Or you could just not go to the taco trucks, and the people that would want to go to the taco trucks would. Because they know it's probably not that bad of a deal. Big of a deal, whatever. I'm ready for 2021, but at the same time, I cannot watch this shit get worse. I mean, this is hard. It's hard to watch it get worse. Israeli Prime Minister of Defense or whatever came out the other day, or former, and said that there's a galactic federation, like an alien galactic federation, and that the aliens don't wish to disclose themselves to the people because we're not ready. And it sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, but at the same time, if you were to take it practically and apply it in real life, it's also true. In China, you have literally people that are being put into concentration camps, specifically Muslims. They're forcing these people to go into labor camps, work, kill them, organ harvesting. If you haven't heard of the organ harvesting, here's how it works. All these Muslims in the Middle East that need organs can't get normal organs that have been tainted by, say, pork, or other things. I'm pretty sure it's mostly pork. So therefore, you have to get it from a Muslim donor. What the Chinese are doing is they're getting these organs from the Muslims that they're putting in internment camps. No joke, internment camps. I'm not using that term lightly. And they fucking sell these on the black market to people in the Middle East for profit. China is also developing super soldiers. Yay! Meaning that they're literally reconstructing DNA and genes in order to create a super soldier. Now, how fucking insane is that? Now, here's a little problem that comes with that. If you don't make those people sterile, or infertile, rather. If you don't make them infertile, I think it might be the same word. How long until that splice in genes, DNA or whatever, is over the long run introduced into the general population? Because, you start out with just, say, boy and girl, then, Chinese program gets abandoned, let's say. If this was just two people, let's say, and then they abandon the program, these two go out into the world and they procreate. They have 3 children each, let's say, in China. Wow, that's a lot. Probably not going to happen, but let's say it does. 3 males, 3 females on both sides. Oh my God. And then this trickle-down effect happens over generations of generations. We're talking hundreds of years later, but eventually there would be such a mutation in our genes that's possible that we could be more susceptible to cancer or something like that. I mean, of course, it's not what they're striving for, but the long-term effects of these studies aren't known because they're not done, because they're inhumane. Wow. Crazy, right? Debating smoking the second cigarette. Usually a second cigarette will get me pretty lightheaded, but I'm still talking, so I might as well. Cancer talks because I'm smoking cancer sticks and I'm a cancer. Man. I really miss all the homies down in California. I'll be honest. Makes me miss and appreciate them that much more. Like, just seeing them on Instagram, posting weightlifting things or just doing their thing, just makes me wish the best for them because I'm this far away. Genuinely wish the best for them. Back onto the humanity isn't ready, though. We're not. I'd say a good 5 to 10% of us realize that, war is the absolute last option, and that self-defense is okay, but to go out and warmonger, it's not all right, and to wish ill will upon other people and do negative things, it's just pointless. It is truly pointless, as corny and cheesy as it sounds. I mean, you just don't get anything out of it. Except for immediate gratification, which, I mean, if you're going for instant gratification instead of long-term gratification, change your goals. I mean, truly, change your fucking goals. Not gonna lie, it's a little harder to talk by yourself. I haven't done this in a long time. Humanity's just not ready. There's only 5 to 10% of us that see the general good in things. George Carlin puts it really well. Take the stupidest motherfucker you know out of your friends, family, whatever. Half the country, half the world is stupider than they are. And that's really hard to fathom sometimes, because I don't want to be on a high horse, but it's insane how you don't necessarily have to have college credentials, like how it was portrayed to us as children, that we must have college credentials in order to be an intellectual, or in order to have, conversations that are deep, I suppose. I don't know. But I kind of forgot what the point of all that was. Shiite. Yeah, that's what cigarettes do. Lightheaded, and I forget what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, all the homies in California, there's more that I wish I got to hang out with and really talk to. Cole Karuba, for example, I'd like to hang out with him again. I blocked for the dude in high school. I might as well talk to the motherfucker. I mean, the guy's a nice guy. Really is. Speaking of cancer talks, cancer is a motherfucker. It took both of my grandparents by small cell lung cancer, or at least one of them, and it's directly attributed to smoking, and here I am. Yeah. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, my grandpa started when he was 8 years old. He started smoking cigarettes, and he didn't stop until he was 67, 66. And for those that don't know, the year after you quit smoking is the year that you become more susceptible to cancer, which is just, tragic, because you think you kick this, and then your life is saved, but you've been smoking for 30 years, and now cancer appears. That's gnarly, man. That's a bitch. That's a real bitch. Let's not forget Joe Biden said he was going to cure cancer and diabetes. Verbatim said that. You can Google that. You can look that up. Look it up on YouTube. My coach, Coach Sperling, he recently DM'd me on Instagram and mentioned that he had pancreatic cancer, stage 2. I think he's doing all right now after all this, rehab and stuff, but I don't know too much, but I do know that he wasn't able to eat anything and he was throwing up a lot, had a lot of nausea. Weed's helping him out a lot, thank goodness, but I also mentioned bone broth to him. And if you have any family members with stomach issues or anything like that, you 100% need to get on bone broth. It is the best fucking thing for you, and it's so simple. It just goes back to using the whole animal. All you do is you get some bones. What I do is I get knuckles. I get the knuckles of cows and stuff, beef knuckles. I sear them to where they crack. Once they crack, I put them in a giant tub of, or not a giant tub, a giant pot of water mixed with onions, celery, taters, carrots, and mushrooms. Let it boil for like 2 to 3 hours, because it takes a while for it to boil. I mean, it's a giant pot, like yay big probably. It's huge. And let it sit for like 12 hours after you cook it for about 5 to 6. Let it sit for like 8 or 10. And then you just have a cup with every meal. It's that simple. You microwave it and you have a cup with every meal. And what it does is it rebuilds your stomach lining, which can be depleted a lot of the times when they go in these surgeries, and they expand your stomach rapidly with air. And what can happen is that will deteriorate your stomach lining, and this bone broth regenerates it. It reinvigorates it. It's incredible. Well, I'm at the end of my second cigarette, and means I'm done. I really just want to say, love all you guys. Tell all your family members and your friends that you love them, because you never know when you won't get to see them again. Let's walk into 2020 kicking ass. Let's get these goals set. I'm going to finish these books. I'm going to get writing. Let's have a good year. Let's have a Merry Christmas. I love you all. Good night. Like the video, subscribe. I've never said that until just right now.